I think we're live. I know I'm alive. But hi, Kevin. How you doing?
Hey, I'm good. How are you?
Doing well. We're doing our very first Patreon Q&A.
It's an honor to be a part of the first one.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll see how many people are actually, part of it. Any?
Well, it's supposed to be an exclusive thing.
It is exclusive. We only have 7 patrons who qualify for this.
Oh, well, so very exclusive.
Very exclusive, yeah. So
Top tier.
but we're gonna make sure that we get out the actual video after the fact that it's live to all the patrons, and maybe we'll do some specials later to kind of entice people to be a part of these more often. That's the thing about the Patreon. I gotta figure out how to have more some more interesting perks. So I'm definitely open to what other people are into. But at the same time, we just got to put stuff out, and that's what will really get people excited. Like the Jedi thing we're doing.
Yeah, I know. I'm excited.
Yup.
Dude, man, I've been trying to be a Jedi for so long. You have no idea.
Really?
Thank you for giving me the chance. Seriously, because so I used to work. Here at Walt Disney World. I took a lot of workshops on understanding the Star Wars universe and what it took to learn like how one could even get close to become a Jedi. But I also threw myself into being get a taste of being a stormtrooper. I just threw myself into every Star Wars related workshop that I possibly could that Walt Disney World offered, and it made an impression. The right people saw it and eventually introduced me to the actual pardon me, and other people who worked closely with the Jedi Training Academy and the Stormtrooper Brigade that works at Walt Disney World, and I actually got to stand in as a Stormtrooper on a number of occasions for Star Wars weekends. They had the 501st Regiment come in, but then to kind of fill out ranks at certain spots in the park, they would just have people like me who had basic training do it. And I was really excited. I was part of the universe, but I was I really wanted to be a Jedi. I don't really want to work for the Empire.
Sure.
And yeah. So then I moved out to Hollywood, and I got involved with a party company that does they have people pretend to be Obi-Wan Kenobi and Luke Skywalker, and they trained me to be Darth Vader. And I was like, okay, that's just further into the dark side. That's fine. And then Kylo Ren happened, and everyone called me up and said, oh my God, you're a Sith Lord now. And I was like, yeah, that's my life. Meanwhile, my girlfriend actually does work with the Jedi Training Academy. Her whole family is strong in the Force. Her father ended up being a rebel spy. Basically, she's rubbing it in my face that I am not strong with the Force at all. So you're at least letting me pretend I am. So,
hi,
Danny.
Oh, hi, Kevin.
Oh, hi, Danny.
Oh, hi, Justin.
How's it going?
I'm clean as a spring morning.
All right. I like spring, Danny.
We were just talking Star Wars, and I couldn't help but notice the art book behind you with Legacy, and that you're drinking from Jabba the Hutt's head. That's amazing.
You're welcome.
It's really cool.
What's everybody been talking about so far, aside from Star Wars?
Basically, I've been giving my life story about how I've been trying to be a Jedi, and I'm totally not.
Have you been trying
I'm
to
not strong in the Force at all, but my girlfriend very much is. Her whole family is. I've seen them go through the Jedi Training Academy. Her father ended up being a rebel spy on Star Tours, and it's seriously, it's the number of times that family has demonstrated their Force sensitivity, and well, I'm just off to the side,
Your time will come, young Padawan. Your time will come.
Well, I've always worked with the stormtroopers. So these are the stormtroopers I
Hey,
worked
man,
with.
Finn, he switched.
Huh?
What was that?
Yeah. Well, that's why I love Finn. I mean, I love Finn for a lot of reasons, but I really fell for that character. I was like, this is my story. I tried to write a blog back in the day, like on LiveJournal, about a stormtrooper who wanted to be a Jedi, and how weird I thought that would be.
It's not weird at all. As a matter of fact, it's a very profitable idea. You should have done that.
I should have, and I didn't.
Well, no time like the present.
No, it's too late. Finn is out there. Like, the story's done.
You can be better than Finn. You can have a new Finn. You can be.
No one's better than Finn.
Jack.
You can be
I want to
Finner.
hear about Jack.
You can be finished.
You could be. Is that a pun?
Well, I do appreciate the support, guys. Thank you.
Danny, what have you been up to? What's new with you?
Well, I got a tooth extraction yesterday, which is the most traumatic dental experience you'll ever have in your entire life.
Oh my God.
And I did that. And then I work at a preschool, so after I got that tooth yanked out of my face, I got to the preschool and got slapped in the face with a basketball.
Oh, good.
It's been an awful weekend so far,
Oh,
but making it better. My face is not swollen from the basketball or from the surgery. Medications are doing great, and I don't feel a thing today.
well, I'm glad you could speak all right.
I can speak all right. Yesterday was miserable. I had a vacant look in my eyes. I was ready for bed by 8 a.m.
I'm sorry.
Actually, putting it out to you creatives out there, I'm actually in the market for a play to do. Me and the director that I work with are looking for something that doesn't necessarily have to be current day, can be pretty much any time period. That's a simple production piece to put on, simple cast, probably no more than like 5 or 6, preferably female lead, and is more on the conservative side because most of the audience ends up being Orthodox Jew. So a little risque, but not super risque. Drop an F-bomb in there every once in a while to keep them on their pants, but it's a good story.
Like, you're looking for a suggestion of a already existing play in which to do? Okay.
Correct. Or if you have one that you've been working on for the past 9 years and you're like, I want to see this on stage, you'll be like, oh my God, let's do that.
I'm not a writer.
There's always Death of a Salesman. That's just a happy romp that everyone loves.
There's a what?
Death of a Salesman. It's the greatest romantic comedy anyone's ever seen.
That one has been done by our production company before, so looking for something.
Have they done Death of a Salesman 2, Electric Boogaloo?
No. Is that
Death of a Salesman? How about Life of a Salesman?
Nah, that's too boring.
Oh.
too positive?
Death of a Salesman in Space.
Ooh, that's a simple production value right there. Keep it all.
Severus, Snape and the Marauders and the Death of a Salesman.
I like that. Wait,
It's we do Death of a Salesman, but it's about Fleamont Potter and shelling out like the Sleek Easy's hair potion or whatever.
Oh God.
Was
Set in the
Fleamont
Bible
the one who
Belt,
invented that, or was his
Yes.
Pappy?
It was Fleamont. He took the Potter riches and made them super rich.
Yeah. So let's do that. It's Fleamont with James Potter as Biff.
with James Potter's
As Biff, yeah.
Oh, I like your brains.
That's it's a bad idea.
I mean, it could be a great idea if done
That's
correctly.
true.
Well, that would make for a very sad death for Fleamont, which I don't think would leave James in a happy spot. Which is perfect because that's what Mammoth does. He makes you feel really sad about life. Life is sad. It's true. So let's get something happier over here.
Justin, what have you been up to lately?
Huh?
What have you been up to lately?
I've been pretty freaking busy. I've got a gig that's been full-time hours that they're probably going to keep me for several more weeks, which is great because they pay pretty well, so I can save up a lot of money for the wedding. And on the off time, I've been prepping Wizarding War, trying to get the first rehearsal ready to go, as well as the first recording. Working on the tech for that right now. I just talked with our sound designer, Jordan, who did sound for Snape and Marauders. I'm going to get him in touch with the sound engineer who's going to be recording us. Talking with Mick because he's got the connection to this recording studio. And just kind of doing final rewrites on the first 4 episodes.
Is Garrett still helping you on the rewrites?
Yes, he is. Having him review what they're doing. Like Garrett works with me on the story. I write the scripts. He gives me feedback on the scripts. And it's just a back and forth, basically. And that's Wizarding War, and I'm trying to get the first production of the Patreon going, which involves Kevin and a lightsaber, which I told you about, Danny.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm trying. What I want to do is, like, with this new upcoming series, which I don't want to go too much into, have at least a few members of the core cast involved as different characters every time. So there's that, and I just got notes back for my feature film, Transcend, which is going to go through a major rewrite starting tomorrow.
Wow.
I got to get it down to like 90, 100 pages and make some substantial changes because I got some very good notes.
Man, who are you getting notes from?
My brother.
Nice.
Yeah.
My brother's a good writer.
Huh?
He's a good writer.
Yeah.
Becoming quite the writer. I mean, you guys haven't read anything of his, have you?
Mm-mm.
Well, I've seen the shorts you've collaborated with him on.
Yeah, the Riddle of the Mask and Truth of the Mask, yeah. But he wrote a feature called Galaxy 89, which is a fantastic road trip story. Like really, really good. Like, holy crap. And I might want to direct it. But I just want him to finish school. So there's, after I got notes from him on Transcend, because he's going to New York Film Academy and they're drilling in him some really good stuff, so he's putting it to good use. And I'm hoping to have a rewrite done within a month or two. But we're also trying to get the second half of the proof of concept, which is a short film that like sells the film, the feature film. Hoping to get that done within the next 30 days.
Nice.
Or at least done shooting. We did a camera test last weekend, which tries to figure out the visual effects that will be seen throughout the movie. Which, once we did the test, I was like, this might be a pain in the ass. But hopefully it'll be worth it.
I saw your vlog, and yeah, it does seem like there's going to be a lot of precision needed to pull it off. But
definite precision.
How much did you actually get shot? How much footage did you actually?
I got the first. So it's a 6-page script. I got the first 4 pages done, which is one scene, about a month ago.
Nice.
So the last 2 pages is just like this smorgasbord of visual effects that culminates in like this final moment in the scene, and that requires a lot of prep. And a little bit of money because we need permits this time. We need insurance. We need more equipment. So I'm saving up for that. And I'm also waiting on visual effects to come back at me and say, okay, this works. Go ahead and do it that way. And then we can go shoot. Or for him to say, we should try something else. And then I have to go do another test. So it's a wonderfully slow process.
To hurry up and wait.
Huh?
To hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, YouTube's recording it. Yeah.
Hi, Liana.
Hi. I'm eating a salad.
Why did you come do that on camera? Huh?
I look kind of like a mess right now.
Fine.
Her car busted her nose.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, I saw that tweet.
I saw the gram.
Yeah. It was like this weird freak accident. Like the other day when it was super windy.
And it closed the trunk on her car trunk on her really hard.
Yeah, like we're taking groceries out of the trunk and just like I put my head under there to like pull out a bag, and it went slam right on my nose. Yeah, not cool.
No fun.
I don't think it's broken though. It hasn't really gotten.
I love that you don't know though.
Well, I've never broken my nose, but Justin has, and he said I would know. So I don't think.
Yeah, it would hurt a lot. It'd be bleeding a lot. It would have bruised really heavily by now.
Yeah, it's still a little bit bruised.
She looks like a badass. She's got a little cut right here, and yeah, she
should have seen the other guy.
Exactly. She looks tough.
Yeah. Maybe it straightened my nose out. Who knows?
So do me a favor. Just throw out throw out a tweet and post on your Instagram asking people if they have any questions during our Q&A. If they can't be a part of it, that way we can actually answer questions from fans.
Not just ramble on about our own lives.
Basically, I mean, I've got more questions to ask you guys, but let's see if
you
we
do.
Yeah, I do.
What else do you not know about us?
I mean, I know you, Danny. I just don't know you. So let's start at the beginning. How'd your parents meet? How were you conceived?
I know the how, but the circumstances are, those change from people to people. My parents met at my dad's 22nd birthday party. He was a pool shark. My mom went over. She was 15. Sat on the edge of the air conditioner like the classy girl she was, and he goes, "Hey, you have nice eyes." And that was it. Love at first sight.
Aw.
He was a trash talking pool shark that had a pool table in his living room instead of any other furniture, and that's just kind of what all the guys did back in the 70s. Would just come over and drink beer and play pool. They had a regular refrigerator, and then they had a pink refrigerator that was stationed solely for the purpose of beer. Pink refrigerator also had lovely dents in it because it was notoriously for getting punched when guys lost at pool. That's where they took their anger out, was on the fridge.
Nice. So wait, you got your mother's eyes?
I got my father's eyes, actually. My mom has more of the hazel green thing going on. My dad has the blue as ocean blue. But I guess it would be kind of in the middle because I feel like they go back and forth. You're convinced I have green eyes.
Well, yeah, you do have green eyes.
I think it depends on what I'm wearing.
Okay.
And fortunately for me, Lily always wears green. This is actually, fun fact, this is the first Lily-oriented thing that I have not worn green for. I've always worn a shade of green.
Oh, yeah, you have.
I mean, I'm looking at the headshot that you gave me, and it's like, it's greenish.
Well, I wasn't Lily in that.
It's not blue. It is green. It's perfectly green.
That picture is blue.
No, it's green. Everything is green. It's always green. I cast a person with green eyes.
Even Paul said one time we were doing an event, he's like, "How many of those green color dresses do you own?"
My eyes are green, but they kind of like go between like brownish green and turquoise, depending on like what the time of the year, which is weird.
We got those eye-changing eyes.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
I've always admired people with one eye with one color and another eye with a different color.
Like a walking Australian shepherd.
That thing.
I was going to say David Bowie, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. He had that.
Yeah. He had two things. He had the miscolored eyes. I'll never remember the name for that. And then he suffered a slight injury to the temple that kept his one eye from being able to dilate. So it was like always open. So he had two completely different eyes. Which Liana shared a theory with me about a character he was supposed to play, possibly. And it makes sense.
Yeah, Grindelwald.
Wait, you?
Okay, is it cool if I would say that?
What?
I don't know if you were saving it for something.
Oh, no, whatever.
Yeah, Liana mentioned to me once that she thinks that David Bowie was supposed to play Grindelwald, which is a great casting choice. And that's why Johnny Depp's eyes are so messed up, is because they're trying to like pay homage or maybe just capture the essence of Bowie, and that can't be done.
I mean, Bowie would have been a little bit old at this point to play Grindelwald, but they could have digitally made him younger, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, my dream cast for those roles for Grindelwald and Dumbledore was David Bowie, after you mentioned that, and Jared Harris,
Wow.
Richard Harris's son, who is older than Jude Law, but that would have been great.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or Jared Harris played Dumbledore.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that too. I thought he was going. I was like, that's perfect. He should play Dumbledore. But I guess they were going for a younger-esque look
Who, for Jude Law?
for Dumbledore. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What do you guys think about the possibility of doing what they did for Princess Leia in Star Wars, where they brought her back to life, so to speak, for the film, doing that for David Bowie for Grindelwald for Fantastic Beasts?
Well, I mean, they've already cast Johnny Depp.
I'm saying, like, before that, do you think that they should have just done the original plan?
No. I mean, because it's one thing to do it for like Princess Leia if it's a slight cameo and the person is still around and it's like one shot. Like Marvel does that all the time when they do flashbacks. It's like just for one scene because it kind of matters for the plot and it's kind of cool to see. But then when they went ahead and did it for an entire movie with Grand Moff Tarkin, that actor, that was weird. That was really weird. And
I posted it on Patreon.
I don't know how I feel about that morally.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
It's not that it's morally wrong, but it's just not cool, you know. And then to do it with Bowie, someone who's an icon like that, it's not like.
I feel like we didn't get his consent.
Yeah,
like,
we did. It's like when
David?
you see Elvis sell a watch, you know. I'm like, that's not right.
Yeah.
What do you mean by his consent?
Like, how do we know that he would have wanted to play Grindelwald?
Oh, well, I don't think we even got the chance to ask, did we?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think Johnny Depp is doing a fine job.
I think he's doing fine too.
He'll do great. Just as long as they fix his.
Right here.
As long as they what, Kevin?
They fix his hair and makeup. Like he just looked so weird at the end of.
It's supposed to be weird.
Yeah, I kind of did too.
It was too much though. I feel like it didn't like, and the shots I'm seeing in the new trailer, like he still looks weird, but it looks organic. Whereas the last movie, it felt so forced. I felt like they were being like, look how weird he is. He's weird. I know he's like, damn, it's crazy.
I kind of attributed his look to the byproduct of the circumstance. So the circumstance was really heightened, and it was kind of a crazy moment in general. So the fact that he looked as disheveled as the circumstance was, to me, was kind of fitting. You're right. I hope he's not that way in general.
And I'm hoping that's what it is. But just that the one purple contact was just so blatant. No, that's the part I was like, that's too much. You're overdoing it. You're trying to make him like. I know. I'm like it's like that doesn't need to be a thing with him. Like Jack Sparrow was crazy, kooky looking. Mad Hatter didn't make sense. He had funny colored everything. Like it's like he doesn't need to do that. I don't know.
Hi, Shino. We have our first. Well, we said we have 4 people watching, but we have our first guest. Hi, Shino. Feel free to talk us up, ask us some questions. But let me see. So, Kevin, you were talking about how there's some fan fiction going around about how Lily and Sirius. We're very close friends because they're both Muggles, and you feel like you've kind of had a similar experience with Danny a long while back.
Yeah,
Muggle-born.
Ever since we got that one question at Stanley's Comic-Con Expo about the Sirius Lily relationship, I was just surprised by that because I was like, I never saw them in my mind as being like a pair, in any regard, because it's always everyone goes there's Snilly and Jilly, like that's it, and
serially,
yeah, and I was like, I just like Lily's like as serious in my brain. I'm like, well, Lily's cool and all, but like I only know her through James, like I never felt like Sirius on his own would like seek out Lily Evans, but
Right.
so I feel like what would happen is like she's, you know, James brings Yoko into the group, and like, so they're like, okay, now we're hanging out with James's girl as well. I guess she's part of the Marauders or whatever. But she's like, she's not. Like, we're not gonna give her a nick. This is for us. Like, she can hang out, but and like they became friends. And Danny, you and I, like, we didn't know each other until we were brought together for this film, and we hung out in the course of making this film, and we got to know each other and become friends through making the film. But I feel like what did it for you and me was when we were at the first NerdCon, and they had that like post-con concert, and the rock band went up, and you and I got like super into it. And yeah, you
jammed out.
crazy, and I was like, now we're in our element, like, and then I was like, I bet you that's what happened with Sirius and Lily. Like, they got to talking and stuff, and then like, probably to be funny or cheeky or whatever, Sirius quoted a line from the Who's song Lily, and Lily got it, and he's like, wait, you listen to the Who? And she's like, yes. Like, and they just like bonded over Muggle music, and then they became like really tight buds after that. So where James is like, oh, Sirius, what are you doing here? Oh, me and Lily, we're gonna go see a movie. Like, wait, I didn't know about this. Yeah, have a good night, bud. You know, like,
I mean, we both had an affinity for Star Wars, apparently. Lily and
Yeah.
Sirius, and they were fans of Star Wars.
yeah, right.
James is probably like,
Yeah, that's my fanfic, I guess. My headcanon.
That's why I thought it was funny in that one fan film we watched at Geek Fest couple months back. Lily Evans and the something or other.
oh, yeah.
Lily Evans and the Stroke of Midnight.
Really?
I think so.
How they kept
Because everything was about it being the 11th hour.
The movie Star Wars.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a couple fun lines where they're just like, they levitate objects without wands. That makes no sense. I thought that was
that was cute. But yeah, I was like, yeah, Lily and Sirius, I think, would just totally bond over listening to records. And then, yeah, if they want to do Muggle movie night, like, that'd be a thing for them. Why not?
I think that's
So
smart.
I actually had another actress who played Lily Evans in a different series called the Lily Evans series. And she actually reached out to me on Facebook, and she's like, hi, Lily, I'm Lily. You want to check out this Harry Potter project I did? I was like, whoa, thank you. Yes, nice to meet you, Lily. So I haven't checked it out yet, but she sent it to me the other day. I was pretty jazzed about meeting another Lily.
What was her name?
She sought me out.
Well, do you remember her name?
Amanda Taylor.
Okay, I don't know that. Okay. I was curious.
I got
I know there was another person who did like Lily Evans vlogs or something.
Oh, it is the same Lily Evans from The Stroke of Midnight from Apple Juice Productions.
Oh, okay.
Lily Evans and The Moment of Truth, Lily Evans and The Stroke of Midnight, and Lily Evans and The 11th Hour. So I guess it's a Lily Evans series.
Oh, I didn't know it was a series.
Fun fact I just discovered live.
That's pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Now I have to check it out more. Looks like there's only 3 videos, but they're both, 6 minutes, 27 minutes, and 21 minutes.
That's cool.
It is cool.
So,
Thanks, Amanda Taylor.
so with Wizarding War, I already got the scripts written, and you guys have written read like 2-3 episodes. But
I read the 4th.
You did
like
read
an
the
early
4th one?
I did,
Okay, cool.
but it's an early draft. I don't know if it's still the same.
So cool, Kevin.
I mean, the story generally it's pretty much the same thing. Nobody's really in it that much because it's reasons. But I was just curious as to what do you guys think if the Wizarding War were not a thing and the general situation panned out where they all graduate, Lily and Snape still have a falling out, even if there wasn't a war. and everyone goes off to do their own thing. What do you think Sirius Black would do? And what do you think Danny Lily Evans would do?
Kevin, you want to take it first?
Not really. I
mean, go.
I have a really hard time answering hypothetical what if Sirius Black lived scenarios. And I think it's partly because we don't really get a taste of what he's like outside of being part of a group. He gets, like, he was always the black sheep, the outsider of his family. He didn't belong with them. So when he jumps into Hogwarts and is sort of Gryffindor, like, that's his thing. I am hella Gryffindor. That's my club. And he smears posters and memorabilia all over his room about it. Then he gets involved in the Marauders and he's super dedicated with them. And then it's the Order of the Phoenix. And I felt like and then it's the Order of Phoenix again. He keeps just being a member of something, is as outgoing and independent as his personality suggests. He's somebody to me that has to belong to something or with people. I feel like he's lost without them, and it's just a result of his upbringing. So if he wasn't, like, there was no war, then there wouldn't be no Order of Phoenix. If there wasn't Order of the Phoenix, then, James and Lily would have their family. I assume he would just want to, like, buddy down with Wormtail and Moony. But if Remus goes off and has a career and Peter just gets like a 9 to 5 and just devotes his life to work, pushing papers in the ministry or something like that, Remus would probably just like go join a biker gang and just just travel. I really feel like he'd be a leaf on the wind.
And then he would get impaled.
Oh.
Sorry.
Why is it always got to end in brutal death?
Because that's the way it goes now with leaves on the wind.
Yeah, I love that expression, but it's been soiled forever.
It's been bloodied up forever.
I miss you, Wash.
I was actually watching movies with Mikey. The YouTube channel Film Joy does these great video reviews that are just so much fun.
I got to give him a second chance.
I also found out that he's connected to people I know. So small world all over again. Yeah. He talked about how he experienced Serenity for the first time with a group of hardcore Firefly fans, and it was one of those early screenings. They did early screenings before the film officially released. There's controversy on whether or not that was the right thing to do. When Wash was killed and other people started dying, this one woman could not stop screaming and crying. And by the time, what's the name of the doctor with his crazy sister? I know. I just have. But anyways,
Simon Tam.
Thank you. Once Tam got shot, she was getting completely delirious, and they had to get her out of the theater. I don't know, that stuck with me. It's just like, wow, that's how hardcore it is. I mean, like, it blew. I was jaw dropped. My heart sunk completely when Wash died, and then everyone started getting shot, and I'm like, holy shit.
That's effective filmmaking, man.
Right.
Joss Whedon knows his stuff.
Right. He does. That just always stuck out to me. It's just like, wow, there's some seriously hardcore fans. Okay, so, Shino, I'll get to your question in a second. I had a question from Kelly on the Patreon. She has a few questions, so we'll get through them quick. Okay. Do you have a dream role? And if so, what is it?
Should I begin?
Yes.
The role that I feel I am best suited for and would love to play and devote myself to more than any other would be Spike Spiegel for a live action Cowboy Bebop adaptation. There's a few others. I
gave 1.5 minutes of that.
What, I have to prattle on for 1.5 minutes about it?
No, I said I gave you 1.5 minutes of that dream.
Yes, you did, and thank you for that.
I might do more. I don't know.
I've gotten to play shades of him for a few things, but I just want to do like the real deal,
right?
So badly,
right?
I'm also crazy obsessed with American Idiot, the Green Day's rock opera. So if I got to be like Saint Jimmy in that, that'd be amazing. But I'd rather be Johnny, and yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
What was the rock opera?
American Idiot.
Green Day had a rock opera called American Idiot, and yeah.
I almost saw that. It was a choice when I went
saw it.
Yay!
I saw it.
Hair?
Huh?
Have you ever seen Hair?
No.
American Idiot is basically like a modernized version of Hair.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's really similar.
All right.
I've seen American Idiot, but I haven't seen
then.
Hair.
Danny, what about you as far as dream roles go?
The risk of being mainstream. I was a big fan of Angelina Jolie's character in Girl Interrupted. I would like to do something like that. I'm also a really big Black Widow-y type fan. I don't want Scarlett Johansson's character. She's doing great at it-ish. But something of similar role. I'm also a fan of Jessica Jones, Marvel, obviously. Jessica Jones in Jessica Jones.
Mick gets that role. Sorry.
No. No. I can go Black. It's fine.
But you want to do something like Jessica Jones, right?
Like Jessica Jones. I would never want to copy what she's doing. She's doing excellent at it, I think.
Yeah.
But I like the brooding. I like the strength. I like the controversy. I like her spunk and her wit and her prone to violenceness. I'm a big fan of all of those things.
If you ever want to play Rogue and you need a gambit, you just let me know.
Dude, Rogue was like my first cosplay character. Rogue was like cosplay circa 1998 for Danny. I'll find the pictures and I will show you. Before we had digital cameras.
With the Masterclass series, I was thinking about doing X-Men one day, so I'll keep that in mind. So next question, did you have a favorite toy as a child, and do you still have it?
Ooh.
That's an awesome question. Okay, let me think on this.
I'm ready. Lincoln Logs, Hot Wheels cars, and the slinky thingy that had a magnet on it that you go, and it was just this magnet loop that would go back and forth. Entertained my stupid 90s brain for hours. And then Lincoln Logs were the coolest thing ever because they were like Legos, but in a practical fashion. And I would make the coolest little cabins. And then Hot Wheels, because Hot Wheels aren't really cool, they were like currency. And so I would set up a whole car dealership, and I would get all of my cars organized from like least valuable to most valuable. And I would get every kid that I knew to come in and play cars with me. And so playing cars meant trading cars. And so we picked cars like you pick kids for sports teams. And so I'd go first, you go second. I go first, you go second. And so we'd get all of our little car lot going on, and then and just swap cars back and forth. And my favorite car, which is the stupidest thing to say out loud now, was my maroon Lexus. It was a boring ass 4-door sedan maroon Lexus. And for some reason, it just spoke to my heart. Like I had all the hot rods in the world. I had a purple hot rod that was my second favorite, and my maroon Lexus that was my most favorite. I have been destined to be a grandma since like 5 years old. It was a really fun game. Boring and stupid, and I still have all of my Hot Wheels cars.
Question, Kevin?
Legos are probably my top choice. My brother and I we had a whole big tub
Little
of
Legos or big Legos?
Huh?
Little Legos or big Legos?
Only Legos, Danny. The other ones are Build-A-Blocks.
No, there's not.
I mean, I had those, the big ones too. But yeah, it was the little ones are my favorite, and specifically like the space line. there's like references to my favorite line. I didn't realize they were, I guess, like the villainous empire of the space group. They had a B on their shirt, and so that's in the Lego movie. And I was like, ah.
Right.
So yeah, though I did do the Lincoln Logs thing because yes, they're like Legos, except they're. I was like, this makes sense. You know, Legos is like, oh god, where do I begin? It was so we just make up spaceships. I was always into the space stuff. My brother was always into just making like just actual trucks, like really modern city stuff.
What are Duplo? You ever heard
Duplo? That's the big Legos.
Okay.
Those are Legos for preschoolers.
Yes.
And then we had another tub of Ninja Turtle stuff. I was all about the Ninja Turtles, and my neighbor got rid of all theirs, so they just one day dropped over like all of their stuff. Like they had the sewer set and the van, and so we combined that with ours. And Mondo Gecko was my specifically favorite character, and but yeah, so Ninja Turtles and Legos, and they're probably still in a tub somewhere in my closet because I'm not gonna get rid of them.
You have your childhood toys in your closet at your house in Los Angeles?
No, in Florida.
Oh.
All my good stuff is in Florida. Yeah, all my stuffed animals and plushes and stuff, they're all there. Because I had way too much junk to bring it all out here yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Minor Transformers. I had a set of Transformers. Actually, my dad had a set of Transformers, and I stole them all the time. But I loved them there, and that was just before the TV show came out.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah.
You were ahead of your time.
Next question: who shot first?
Between Han and Greedo?
All it says is who shot first.
Han.
Me.
Cool. You. Dogs or cats?
Doctor.
Sorry.
What? What was the question?
Dogs or cats?
Oh. I thought
Well,
you was never mind.
I am a dog person. I was raised with dogs, around dogs, and I love dogs. But
So
there
dogs.
is a cat here, and I really do like this cat. His name is Gary Oldman. Hi, Gary. And then there's my cat. Like I also own a cat. This is the girlfriend's cat. I don't know where he is right now, but I'm okay with that.
Hey, kitty. Cool. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
I took a Facebook quiz or something like that, or some BuzzFeed quiz that was basically like, based on your personality and how you live your life, what state should you be living in? And I was like, this is going to be super helpful because my heart is still in Florida, but all the work is in California. But I visited the Carolinas when I was young, and I think they're beautiful. But it's in Hawaii. I was like, that kind of makes sense.
Hawaii?
I've never been.
You would do well
I know
there.
Justin's from there.
I'm not. I lived there for 5 years. That's not where I'm from. But yeah, you do well there. I think you're so friendly. Everyone would get along with you. They'd be like, you're pretty cool for a Howley. You're all right for Howley.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, I mean, I totally see why it suggested Hawaii for me, and that is the best of everything I just described.
Yeah.
I grew up on a coastline, but I loved the mountains, and I like wind. But I was like, oh, I don't want to be another white guy who had to move into Hawaii and take over. Like,
Yeah, that's
Like
how
that.
I always felt. I never felt like I belonged there.
Yeah.
I mean, I loved it while I was there, but I was like, I'm basically a tourist for the next several years.
yeah.
So, so Shino asked, do we know about the Marauder fan film, The Gathering Storm? Yeah, we do. We would love for them to finish and release it. That would be nice.
Yeah, I actually donated to their Kickstarter way back, and Aaron Riven, the director, is a friend of mine.
I know,
I
it's
bump
so crazy.
him every now and again at conventions, and so I'm still looking for the film every now and then because I donated. I get the updates saying on what they're working on. So it's been a process, and I'm confident they'll eventually get there. I'm just kind of eager to know like when. I want to see their take on it.
Right.
Because there was there was another one that was made by student filmmakers from England who shot it at Oxford, and they contacted me. Which one was that?
I don't remember.
I know which one you're talking about. I don't remember the name. I think it was just Mismanaged.
Yes, of course. Yeah. So, and it was really neat to see the characters like running around the Hogwarts grounds, like for realsy. And it was just a nice little slice of life film with the Marauders. It wasn't a big epic story like ours was. It was just like, this is a day in their life. And it was kind of cool to see.
Right. And let's see. Beach or forests?
I like forests.
Depends.
I grew up in Florida, so I should say the beach, but I like forests. Danny, sorry, what was that?
Oh, depends on the beach.
Right?
Yeah, California beaches, no.
Mm-mm.
I mean, okay, not Southern California beaches. Like you go a little bit north, you go a little bit souther. It's beautiful.
Mexico.
Or I've never been to Mexico. Well, not the beaches part. Like, I like forests.
I love them both. It would be easier to find food on a beach. So,
am I stranded there? Or am I visiting there? Like, I'd rather be stranded.
Right. We need more context. Cool. Danny, I didn't get a take from you on what Lily Evans would be doing if there were no war and they graduated Hogwarts.
If there were no war, I would sincerely question her ever getting with James. And
really?
I think that was...
They dated in 7th year.
I know. I just don't know if that would have been, if she would have put a ring on it, so to speak.
Huh.
I feel like that was kind of him, the final proving of himself and the final, like, look at how much of a badass I am type thing in her mind. And that's why she was like, oh my God, like, you're going to be the man that steps up to the plate. Fuck yeah, I'm going to marry you. Sorry. Heck yeah, I'm going to marry you. So I feel like that was a little bit of the catalyst in her mind for that. So I would question if they ended up together, and that would drastically change the course of her life. If I was having headcanon moment, I would say maybe she ended up going back to Hogwarts and was a professor. Maybe she got a 9-to-5. But I sincerely question her getting married to James if the Wizarding War hadn't happened.
Okay. Arrow asks, have any of you traveled outside the U.S.? If so, where have you been and what did you think?
I've been to 2 places, but they're both, well, I've been to Hawaii, but it's technically in the U.S., but it's also physically outside the U.S. And then I went to Mexico. I was in Monterrey when I was like 5 or 6 years old, which is a really, really, really impoverished city. And I don't remember too much of it, except that it was very, very impoverished. I would love to go other places as an adult, but unfortunately, and time.
I've been on 2. Huh?
Have you left the country, Kevin?
I've been on 2 cruises through the Caribbean. So the first one when I was 10, and we stopped off in Nassau in the Bahamas. And then the second one was I climbed a waterfall in Jamaica. And so like we went into Jamaica, but it was on a tour trip. So I don't know, like, you know, it's not like I got to engross myself in the culture or anything.
Right.
And then it was Catalina. No, not Catalina. Cayman Islands, Haiti, and the last stop was in Cozumel, Mexico. And for that one, like, we still did the touristy stuff. Like, I ate at the Hard Rock Cafe there because I'm a total dork. But it was like, let's go. We didn't have anything to do, so we just wandered as far into the actual city of Cozumel as we could, which was probably a terrible idea. But like, we wanted to see what it was like. And my friend bought luchador masks from an actual like corner store somewhere. And then I've been to Canada on a couple occasions for work. But
what part of Canada did you go to?
Winnipeg and London twice. And London is about 2 hours outside of Detroit. And Winnipeg is just north of the Midwest. So like it barely counts as another country. Like Hawaii counts more as another country than this does.
Well, I know that Liana would beat every single one of you like 5 times over.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
She's been to Japan and China and.
No, I was only in the Japan airport.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't count.
Okay, but you're in China, right?
I was in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong, yeah. Oh, it's almost China. And you've been all over.
Don't tell them that. Oh.
Don't tell the Chinese that Hong Kong is almost China. And you've been all across Europe, and yeah, she's been everywhere.
I went to the Cayman
I'm so
Islands.
jealous.
I was like 4.
Yeah.
I don't remember it. I've been to Mexico, I've been to Canada. Where else? Yeah, mostly Europe though.
All right.
Liana, have you ever traveled by yourself?
Outside the country?
Yeah.
No, like not really. Like when I went to Italy, I flew with a bunch of friends, but I booked my flights later than they did, so I was only on the same flight as them for the first half, and then the second half I came in later. Like I came in a day later actually because I had a huge layover. So I arrived in Italy by myself, which was actually really terrifying. But that was the only time that I was really by myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've got multiple friends who are like visiting the Netherlands or Amsterdam right now. Like, so I'm just seeing on their Instagram feeds, just them hanging out in Amsterdam, just be like, oh my God, they make it look so easy. This isn't fair.
I had a friend recently that went to, I guess it was New Zealand, but they have ice caps there. And she was like hiking through the ice caps with these awesome like ice shoes and stuff and these glaciers. And I was like, whoa. And she went with a dude.
That's one of the countries I very much want to go to is New Zealand.
The terrain was so different. They had the glaciers. They had these huge overlooks into the ocean. It was amazing. I was like, what a cool place to go to that has such varied landscape and that's pretty vacant.
Yep, it's Lord of the Rings for you.
All right.
That's my dream.
I want to go to Iceland, especially because now there's flights that are like $300 to go there or something.
Dude.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Video game or board game, and what's your favorite?
I'm so bad with video games. Like I used to play them all the time, but then I moved to LA and I don't ever play them. I tried finishing the original Legend of Zelda last night and I just got pissed. I got so mad.
Well, the original, man, that's one of the toughest games around. So
okay, so it's not just me then?
No.
Like I suck at it. I'll admit. I ranked it so poorly because I'm terrible at the game, but
no, that game is like explore this whole world. By the way, 8 out of 9 dungeons are completely lethal to you, so it's up to you to figure out. And that's what the game's all about. It's like it's up to you to figure out the best course of action, but we're not going to tell you.
Yeah, so I've been having a hard time with I guess the Dragon Dungeon. So I stopped playing it for a couple months, and I was like, okay, now I'm going to get back into it. So I went to a different one, the Demon. And it was like the easiest dungeon. I had no problem going through it. I didn't use a potion or nothing. And I was like, oh, I just picked the wrong dungeon. And so then I was like, okay, let's try this other one. And that one was also terrible. And so I threw a fit. And so board games. I've always loved board games as well. So, God, favorite? Ugh,
Oh, sorry.
I don't know. Yeah, no, go, Danny. I don't know what I'm doing.
I started out as a big nerd with video games because this was a long time ago. And so we had the original Nintendo station. And then we got wealthy and got 2 Nintendo stations. And then we got super wealthy. By that, I mean not. But we had 2 TVs that were positioned diagonally from each other. So we had 2, because my mom had a daycare in our home. So that was part of the kids' fun time, is to play video games. We only got an hour. We didn't kill our brain cells on video games all day. But I got really good really fast. And I had a lovely collection of 63 games, which in 1998 was really posh. And I could beat pretty much everything and everybody. But then technology got ahead of me, and we came out with Sega, we came out with Nintendo 64, we came out with everything else that became cooler and better graphics, and all of my skills went out the window. And I then became the very small fish in the big pond. So I threw all my cheat books away. I threw all my game codes away, and I was like, fine. But I mean, if you put me on an original Nintendo set, I'll still kick anybody's butt at Kirby, at Super Mario Brothers, at Tetris. Like, Tetris saved me so much. When I was a teenager and I got super mad at my parents, I put my headphones on and listen to Linkin Park and yell and play Tetris all night. that was my angsty teenage years, playing Tetris.
I never knew Tetris could be like a cathartic release for people. It's awesome.
That's
well,
so
when you're
funny.
Like, it was good.
Yeah.
So that was my childhood.
And then like somehow you mix in the Tetris theme. Do 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 do. Face myself, come back to me. I don't know.
It worked. I was really good. So as an adult, I don't play video games anymore, but I like board games. Probably the favorite one would be Deception and Murder in Hong Kong. It's really good, especially with actors. I brought it over to Garrett's house one day when they had board game night, and it went really well.
Yeah, that was amazing. I love that.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm actually getting through Ocarina of Time right now, and I finished Link to the Past recently. So I didn't play any of the Zelda games as a kid, and I felt really bad because whenever I play Super Smash Brothers, Link's my favorite character, and I did it out of guilt for not playing the games. So now I'm playing the games. I bought myself a Nintendo 3DS, and I'm getting classics. And I just play at night before I go to bed for like an hour. But that's all the time I got, guys. I got to get back to life. But thanks for hanging with me. And thanks everybody else over here for hanging with us. Yeah.
Can we pose for a picture real quick?
Sure.
Smile.
Hey.
Nice.
Shaka, because I went for a minute.
You're such a dork.
I played Tetris as a teenager. Don't judge me.
No, I was making fun of Justin.
Sorry, we caught your question.
I like the selfie thing. That's great.
Sorry, we caught your question late, Gio. I'll make sure that we get to answering that another day. I promise. But we got to get going. So
yeah.
I'll talk to you guys later, and we'll see you at next month's Q&A, either with these guys or a couple others, or I don't know. We'll figure it out. But talk soon.
Mischief managed.
Mischief managed. Bye-bye.